Hey guys, here is a short video where I'm going to talk to you guys about nutrition and how different foods affect your bodies in a variety of ways, both positively and negatively. One thing I really want you guys to take away from this challenge is how to implement sort of healthy eating as part of a balanced lifestyle. So this is a sustainable sort of thing that you guys can carry on long after the challenge and implement for many, many years to come. This isn't just a 30-day program where you lose a bunch of weight, etc., and then you gain it all back, maybe plus some more. I hate those programs or challenges. So that's really the main focal point with this challenge, is to improve your guys' relationship with food. And in doing so, we really need to learn how different foods affect our bodies. So I think, first of all, understanding what are calories, what are macros. So macros make up calories. So macros are carbohydrates, fats, and proteins. Let's start with carbs. So carbs, you have simple carbs and you have complex carbs. Simple carbs are kind of what we deem as to be sort of carbs to avoid. They tend to be higher in sugar, and in saying that, they spike blood glucose, they'll spike insulin levels, and then overconsumption of simple carbs will lead to fat gain very rapidly. So it's very easy to gain fat very fast if you're eating lots of simple carbohydrates. For example, white bread, sugary cereals, sweets, lollies, etc. Whereas complex carbohydrates are things more sort of carbohydrates which have a slower digestion rate in the body, and their energy release is much smoother throughout the day. E.g., kumara, mixed grain vogels, whole grain bread, brown rice, sort of foods may be carbs rich in fiber, like oats. However, like an overconsumption of complex carbs will also lead to fat gain as well. Carbs tend to have a bad rap. I feel like for each person, it's sort of dependent on how their body, where they are at in terms of their age, gender, current sort of situation in regards to health and weight and what that person's goal is. Let's say someone has the goal of dropping a few kgs and wants to lose some body fat and maybe tighten up a bit and build some muscle. I would not eliminate carbohydrates, but I would place carbohydrates accordingly around that person's workout. So carbs fuel the body, but the body's preferred energy source of fuel. Think of a car. We fill the car up when we're going to go somewhere, but if we put too much fuel in the car, it's not good, right? So just like if we put too much fuel in our bodies, we're going to have fat accumulation. So around someone's workout, I like to place carbohydrates. I like fruit around the workout. Fruit is a simple carb because it's a sugar. It has fructose, which is sugar. But you know what? I think fruit's very good for you, high in antioxidants. And even though it's a simple carbohydrate, the spike in insulin and blood glucose around the workout will actually drive performance up and help with recovery, which is awesome. So you're sort of still getting that sugar fix. You're getting antioxidants from the fruit around your workout. It's a win-win. You're going to help you work out and be good for your health. So simple carbs with the fruit around the workout. I'll also chuck in some complex carbs too. That might be in the form of oats, brown bread, maybe some kumara as well, or some brown rice as well. So that combination of simple and complex carbs around the workout, I think, is amazing because it drives performance up, which will then lead to more calorie burn throughout the workout and also help with building muscle, which again will help the person achieve their goal of losing body fat, because the more muscle we have, the higher our metabolic rate, which just means how many calories you burn at rest, and that will be increased with more muscle mass. Secondly, the macronutrient protein. Protein is very essential. So protein not only repairs muscle, but it also repairs all other cells in the body, such as hair, skin, vital organs, nails, etc., as well as muscle. So it is a very important macronutrient. It helps with satiety. It will help keep you fuller. When I'm planning a meal plan, typically I like to first work out the person's body weight in pounds, and depending on their goal, match the amount of protein to their body weight in pounds, how to work that out. So say you've got a 100 kg person and the body weight in pounds is 220 pounds. 1 kg to 1 gram would be 220 grams of protein per day. Now, you can up it slightly if a person really wants to build some muscle mass. You can up it to 1.5 grams of protein per pound of body weight, or even times 2. Really depends, you know, if a person wants to really focus on building muscle, I would slowly taper that up to a higher protein intake. Protein itself is thermogenic, and that just means you burn body fat when you consume a good amount of protein. There's also been studies showing if you have a breakfast rich in protein and lower in carbs, that helps with sort of mental clarity and sort of stability throughout the day, even with people with like ADHD and all sorts of things like that. So let's talk about the third macronutrient, fats. I think one thing we should talk about is with fats, there's 2 types of fats, right? Well, there's a few types of fats, but the ones you guys should focus on are unsaturated and saturated fats. Saturated fats are the ones you really want to avoid. Saturated fats are rich in cakes, biscuits, chocolate, processed food, burgers and stuff. Oily, greasy, fried food, terrible for cholesterol, terrible for health. Saturated fats tend to drive down HDL and drive up LDL, creating a really bad cholesterol marker on blood work. Unsaturated fats, however, are really good for you, and they're really good for overall cholesterol health. Unsaturated fats will be avocados, nuts, whole eggs, olive oil, typically things like that. I do find if someone is lower in fats in their diet, is deficient in fats, it has a detrimental effect on their hormonal function. So fats are really good at sort of regulating hormones as well as mood in the person. So I find if someone's dieting, getting the proper level of amount of fats throughout the day is really, really important, especially for females as well, which have the menstrual cycle, menopause. A healthy amount of fats will really help keep things a lot more stable. Okay, so those are all the 3 macronutrients. I hope that helps you guys. Just sort of pay attention to how, you know, different carbs, different proteins, different fats affect your body. Is that aligning with the goal you want? I think when you really understand how and learn how different foods affect your body and eat in accordance to the goal that you desire, then it sort of broadens your horizon in terms of the ability to make better food choices throughout the day. For example, today I was on the go and didn't have time to sit down and have breakfast. So I just had 2 scoops of whey protein with 150 grams of Greek yogurt with some unsweetened almond milk. That pretty much hit my macro goals for my meal 1. And it was on the go, it was easy. It took me like less than 30 seconds to prepare. I think there's always a quick, easy solution when you really sort of want to achieve your goals and have a sort of growth mindset instead of a fixed, narrow-minded mindset in regards to food. There's always a solution out there. So I hope this video helps you guys. Stay on track.